Hello, everyone. My guest today is Paul Peterson. He is a former developer and Big 8 consultant on selecting emerging technologies for use in sales and marketing for companies like McDonald's, Allied Van Lines, United Airlines, and others. He led the enterprise sales team at Delarina, which is WinFax and Symantec, now FormFlow, and now is general manager of the GoldMine business unit of Avanti Inc. Paul, you ready to take us to the top?
Sure.
Now, is Avanti your baby? Are you the founder there, or are you working for the founder inside of
No,
GoldMine?
Avanti is a very large enterprise. It's a combination of Landesk and a few other entities that are focused on IT security networks, remote users. So but part of GoldMine was founded in 1988, and I started in 1999. So think about what the technology looked like. It was before Al Gore had invented the internet and things like that. And so I've been with them 22 years. The founder sold out, and he's running another product called Nimble right now. So I'm sort of the caretaker or steward, as it were, of GoldMine over the years.
Nimble, are you talking about John Ferreira?
Yeah, exactly. He was GoldMine's Ferrara with Alon back in,
Oh,
yeah,
so he was leading GoldMine before you came in.
that's right. So
In
I came in as a regional manager. I worked for Symantec selling antivirus software when people thought it was optional, fun. WinFax, I don't know, you're probably too young to remember when faxing was a big deal out of the computers, and so we had OEM. And so I got the GoldMine because I was a good salesperson at taking packaged software, WinFax, Symantec, and selling it to large corporations. And
That's great. Look, the reason I invited you on is because I always like folks doing something a little unique. And right, so there are right now many multi-billion-dollar tools that are CRM sort of SaaS tools. Vista got behind Pipedrive at a plus billion-dollar valuation. Close.io, HubSpot free CRM, obviously Salesforce, a bunch of folks. You're doing something different. You're actually selling a one-time sort of license to
right,
a CRM software. Help me
right.
understand how you're competing in the space.
Well, so it's a little bit of a legacy that we inherited the perpetual license and Windows on-premise. So we were one of it was GoldMine, Act, and Maximizer. Then Siebel came along, and then later on Salesforce, came about. We stuck with our architecture, Windows based, and we do things a little bit differently. We didn't expand to do everything like Salesforce, Sugar, Microsoft. You can find every bell and whistle. You have architectural, but with that comes some complexity. So we kind of what they call stick to the knitting. That we were liked by individuals for productivity, and so we stuck with that over the years. And
Mhm.
that said, be available on their PCs, not in the cloud. And a lot of our audience likes to own the data. They like to own the software. So I'd say we're a niche product today. We're not, Salesforce is probably the leading go-to, but we have a niche product where people want that, and it takes advantage of some of the Windows. Multiple windows can be open. It's very fast when it's running on your local system.
So
There are a number of
on-prem,
advantages.
local, keep their data. These are all the reasons people buy this from you. Now, what do you
Right.
charge? What do you charge on average for this?
So, when you said we were charging a one-time fee, so it's a one-time fee. You buy it, and we actually pricing's a big issue for me, and we've done a number of things around to make pricing part of the value prop. We're not necessarily the cheapest, but we're strong value for what
What's
we
the
offer.
one-time fee?
Well, the list price is $695, but we have a couple of ways to get in. We have a front. We're kind of a reverse discount. It's front loaded. The first 3 or 5 you buy are heavily discounted, and then we hope to get a little bit more when you add seats down the road. But that to make it easy, so we did a bundle, sort of like your
So it's
support and everything.
$700 to get started.
As a single user, we typically start out with a 3-user bundle, which is about $1,900. And that includes a year of support and 3 users. And then in year 2, like subscription, you buy the product again. And often with an uplift, they're adding 7% every year. Whereas with our product, you buy it up front. And then in year 2, you pay about 20% maintenance for software updates and access to technical support if you need it. So the old long time cost of ownership with GoldMine is very, very strong in our favor.
What is the average customer paying per year just for the maintenance contract?
It's about 140 to 150 a user per year. So times that by 5, 750.
$750 a year.
Whereas if you go with a subscription service and you paid $80 a month or whatever, you're paying 80 plus a month every year thereafter. So
Yep. I like that. Look, this is an interesting model. There's still a recurring element here, which is the service and maintenance, right? We're going back to real OG times back in the 80s, right? Most of these folks have obviously moved over. You said we're going to stay on-prem installation, one-time upfront sale, front loaded, then 20% maintenance fee over time. Give us a sense of scale. What year did you join the business?
I joined in 1999.
1999. Now, do you remember in 99 when you joined what sales were?
They were probably 20 million.
20 million. Okay, and that's a combination of the one-time plus the service fee.
No, that was no maintenance, and it was all shrink wrap, and it was retail, CDWs and CompUSAs. I mean, people that are have disappeared from the scene, Office Depots, Mac. It was all retail, and then the retail price was probably about $300. So it was the heyday. People in 2000 were replacing everything because they thought planes and their businesses were going to fall out of the sky because of Y2K.
Yep.
So we had a huge year. Things sort of tailed off after that, and we shifted. GoldMine shifted from where we were using Borland database engine. So this is technology that goes way back, but it was the first database that people touched on at the time. And so we shifted to SQL when it was coming out, SQL 7. It was an affordable database. We were an OEM. We were a large OEM product for that. And that became one of the first database and shared applications that many, many businesses used. And in fact, we were often a network tester. GoldMine, because it was sending data over the network, would find kinks in your network that didn't exist, that you didn't know exist. But over time, that accounting applications and other things got up on the network. But
now, Paul, in 2020, how many customers did you have actively sort of paying this maintenance fee?
It's about 5,000, and we estimate we probably have 1 or 2 who don't, or 2,000 who don't pay the fee. So you do have that option. So then with regards to pricing, we've got to have a get current upgrade. So it's definitely an older model, but you own the software. It's a perpetual license. One of the other elements is we're concurrent. And this is actually an important
well, Paul, hold on. Before we go to the concurrent stuff, so just to be clear, 5,000 actively paying the maintenance fee and another 2,000 who choose not to pay it, correct?
Estimated, yeah.
Estimated, yeah. Okay, got it. I mean, so can I do the math there, right? $5,000 times what you said, a service fee on average of $62 a month or $750 a year. I mean, that's like $310,000 a month, something like that.
Yeah.
Right around there.
Yeah, yep.
And okay, so now tell me about you were going to continue on with another product.
Well, so we used and our model is concurrent, which means shared licenses. If you subscribe, you're paying per login, per named user. Well, within GoldMine, the idea is to create an ID for everybody in your company. And we deal mostly with small businesses, SMBs. But let's say I can put in 20 names so that the people from accounting or sales administration can log in and use it occasionally. But they don't have to pay for a license. You're just managing the number of people who are logged in at once.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to go to Salesforce or some of the other subscriptions, you've got to pay for everybody who wants access. And so we're affordable in that sense. You can get going. You can give everybody in the company access to the features and functionality, which are heavy on contact management and managing your personal productivity and schedule, email marketing. So we're a good list manager. Get all your prospects in that list, and then a traditional one, sales forecasting for.
And with this kind of feature set, how many new customers joined the program in 2020, purchasing, the $700 or $1,900 upfront thing?
So it's about 100 new names a quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay. So call it 400-ish last year, even during COVID, about 400 new customers last year.
Yeah. So COVID, as you scaled back marketing, there was a little bit less on the new, but there was a strong investment from existing businesses because they had to support remote users.
Yeah.
So we did, and our parent company, benefits from that as well. They provide security for networks and remote users. But we saw a lot of people now, as we're coming out, adding seats. So they're expanding. They've hired us another salesperson, and or they're getting back. So they've renewed. People who would drop maintenance for cost reasons are coming back because there are some things in the latest release around security and that they want, so that they can take advantage of.
And Paul, when you look at last year, and then I want to get more of like understanding your team and sort of where you think the product will go, but when you look at total revenue last year, what % would you say came from recurring maintenance contracts versus new signups paying the $700 or $1,900 fees?
Yeah, it's about 75% recurring.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's an important part, and we run a very lean, profitable organization. We work through reseller channels that are international, that provide the services and guidance. We have a lot of, today the technology is a little bit more stable and people can do more on their own. But when it comes to customizing the workflows and all that, that's one of the things about GoldMine. You can touch your data. It's very easy. With some of the other products, you want to have it. You hire an administrator and a person dedicated to it. So when you're a big company and you have complex, so kind of the evolution has been, a lot of companies started with a GoldMine, installation, and as they got big, they had more specific integration requirements and things of that sort, and so they expanded to bigger products. That's the natural evolution. We stuck with what we do, which is helping smaller businesses manage that
What
at
is
an
your
affordable
what is your
price.
team size today?
Pardon?
How many folks are on your team today?
Yeah, we don't reveal that number because we're private, but there's dedicated development, dedicated support, dedicated sales, and about 70 channel partners worldwide.
Tell me about how you've signed up so many channel partners. I assume you pay them a 30% cut or something?
Yeah, they get a traditional discount, and then they get commissions on the maintenance renewals. So we have them working to encourage renewals, and then they provide local support, customization support, usually on an hourly basis as opposed to weeks or days.
Okay. Now, I don't know, push here where you can't talk about this stuff, but on LinkedIn, it says for GoldMine, there's 5 employees, right? And then there's, I guess, 70 value-added resellers here. I assume the team's probably bigger than 5 people full-time on the project.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that reference was to. I'll have to go back and check that one out. But
yeah, well, it looks like you have a development team or something in India. A lot of these folks that are listed here are in India.
Yeah, we're out of Bucharest in Romania. We have that. So the identifiable ones, and then we have a support group in Colorado Springs and channel people that were located, interspersed across the globe, London, Toronto.
I see. Now, you're obviously operating this inside of a much larger company, right? So yeah. I mean, have you bootstrapped the business, or is it's not profitable and it's really backed by funding from the larger business?
So I would call myself, if not a brand steward, intrapreneur, right? I'm running a separate business unit within a company, and we are very, as I said, we're lean, but we are very profitable.
Yep.
There are things I think we wish we could do more, but we're keeping within the lines of proper research, investment, and so forth. We're real lean on marketing because that can be very expensive during COVID. So we sort of shut some of that down. But we are a very profitable entity, which is why they've held on to us. So we help Avanti and be strong and develop other products as well.
Have you asked Avanti, guys, listen, I'd really love to spin this out and lead this myself. If I go raise whatever $20 million to buy it out from under you, would they sell it to you?
It's a complicated bit because of the profit, the price. It's a very interesting financial model when you have a high EBITDA contribution. That there's a lot of value to that, because if they take that out, some other product has to step in and fill it, right? So while it might make sense to spin it off from a financial perspective. And here's the thing for us, we got a good home, right? All the infrastructure stuff has taken place for us. Now, while we're very different, our customers are very different than Avanti's, but we're able to take advantage of all the accounting and order entry and legal and personnel and benefits and keep our team going. So they pick up a little bit of that, but we're still a very big contributor to their ongoing success.
Yep. No, this makes a lot of sense. Talk to me about churn. How obviously keeping those people paying maintenance contracts is obviously important. What does churn look like?
We don't calculate it much. It's because we're pretty stable on the renewals. What happens typically, people will disappear for a year or two for whatever reason. They won't pay, for a year or two, but then they come back because they need a release that has a security enhancement or something of that sort. So, we have. I talked to somebody who's running a product, version 7, which was last updated in 2005. And I was chatting think about all the things that have changed, I don't know, 5 or 6 presidents, and who knows how many operating systems Microsoft has gone through, right? But the product can run. So we have a lot of customers that have invested in it. Once they get it working, they don't change it. It's the old adage that salespeople like change, they just don't like to be changed.
Yep.
So we have customers that have called me up. In fact, we talked to somebody yesterday that I was on the original sale in 1999. They worked with one of my resellers to get trained, and they had, for whatever reason, now coming back. And 20 years. I mentioned this person 15 years. CRM is very sticky. Once you get using it, you just don't swap it in and out. It's not like a Dropbox.
I understand. No, we've seen this. I've interviewed, again, we've interviewed a bunch of Pipe Tribe. All these folks have been on the show, so I get it. It is sticky, especially an on-prem. An on-prem version is much stickier than a non-on-prem version. SaaS is easy to cancel.
And the on-prem bit, while it's a little bit of a, it's a differentiator, and we're that helps draw people. We also went to a license or a hosting model where, unlike a SaaS application, so from our perspective, it leveraged the features. Hey, if you like the feature set and you got equipment to run on it, that's the most affordable way. But we also have certified MSPs who can run that. And one of the advantages is now I can put GoldMine on that virtual desktop, but I can put other applications like their quoting application.
Can you break? I mean, with these extra products, with the features, I mean, many people would argue, entrepreneurs like yourself, you get very comfortable because you have a much larger company sort of protecting you. So you're less aggressive in terms of driving growth. I mean, can this thing grow back? I mean, it sounds like your blockbuster year was back in doing 20 million in 1999, I guess, or back in the day. Can this get back up to $10 million a year in revenue this year?
Not this year. It could, right? You've got it, but the on-premise market is a tough one to be at. So
yeah.
We fight to be stable, provide our customer a stable version of the product that they can continue using, keep the brand name out there. That the brand name GoldMine keeps bringing people in, so that's call it free advertising. But to be candid, it's hard when it's a cloud world out there, and
yep.
So some of our customers love GoldMine, and our hosting is probably 20% of our business, and that pays us the ongoing recurring fee. Or you can take your license that you own and your data, move it up into the cloud, and just pay for the hosting services. So We've given folks that option, and we'll see how, as we come out of COVID and more people. Taking a look at some of their infrastructure, there's a lot of people looking to be a little bit more economical, and GoldMine offers a great affordable solution.
We will see what happens. We're out of time though. Let's wrap up here quickly with the famous five. Number one, favorite business book.
In Search of Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play by Mahan Khalsa. It's a sales book. It says salespeople have rights.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
My own, James Schaefer. He's come out of a couple of successful bits, and so there's a lot to learn.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building the business besides your own?
Boy, I don't have an answer to that one.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I get a solid 8.
And what's your situation, Paul? Married, single, kids?
Married, grown kids, and yeah.
How many kids?
I have 2, 27 and 28.
Okay. And
one of them is she's a CPA and manager for the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, very cool.
She gets to blend something very a lot of numbers with a great team.
And how old are you?
I am 68.
68.
It's like, Mr. Peterson, tell us about software in the old days when you didn't have Windows. But anyway.
Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
How to be patient. Yep.
Guys, GoldMine, an OG in the SaaS space. They sold on-prem CRM software, blockbuster year, 20 million back in the .com boom. Now today, they have got about 5,000 customers that pay servicing fees of call it 60, 70 bucks a month. So call it 300,000-ish per month in revenue. But on top of that, they've got 400 new customers joining every year, paying 700 bucks to $2,000 to get signed up and get on board. And then they expand with seat basis. We'll see if they can get back up to 10 million bucks in revenue. But Paul is shepherding this meanwhile internally at Avanti. Paul, thanks for taking us to the top.
All right, Nathan, you got it.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.